Hello everyone, this is Jay from BroGaming TCG, and today we are doing a Elder Scrolls Legends deck profile. Now this deck profile is a basic beginner deck that you can actually get by just playing through the story. Unlocking decks and getting upgraded cards through the story will allow you to create this deck. Now some of these cards you don't get through the story, but through opening packs are either commons or uncommons that you can get pretty easily. So starting off, we're playing one Curse card. Now Curse is an uncommon card, so it's pretty easy to get, but you do get one through the story. It basically give a creature -1/-1. It can take out a creature, weaken a creature. Definitely a good beginner card to have. Suppress is another card. It just silences a creature. It costs 0 magicka. It's a nice card to have if you're in a little bit of trouble and you don't know what to do. So next up, we're playing 2 Arrow in the Knee, which basically shackles a creature, allowing it not to attack the next turn. So a little bit of stall, plus it deals 1 damage to it. And you can use Arrow in the Knee kind of as a card that can get a creature out of the way if it's only got 1 health left. So next up, we're playing one Deathless Draugar. Now we're playing this Deathless Draugar only because it's a great starting card. You can play it. If it dies, then you're going to be able to replace it with a 1/1 skeleton. It just gives you a little bit of defense at the beginning of the game. Now late game, this card is basically useless. You don't want to play it unless you have to. Next up, we are playing 2 Daedric Daggers. Now, if you have a third Daedric Dagger in your collection, guys, I would actually recommend taking out the Deathless Draugar and putting in a third Daedric Dagger. Or you could take out Suppress and put in a third Daedric Dagger. Both are decent cards to take out of this deck and put in a third Daedric Dagger, because this deck is going to be based around guarding and having that lethal ability. So this Daedric Dagger is going to be used a lot in this deck, and you're going to be able to need it. Next up, we're playing 2 Daring Cat Purse. This card is just an all-around good card. It has the Prophecy ability, so if you draw it off of a rune loss, you're going to be able to automatically play it. And then it also has the Pilfer ability, so when it damages your opponent, it's going to gain +1/+1. So if you set this behind a guard, it is going to get pretty powerful. Next up, we have Dune Rogue, which basically this is just a really good prophecy card for a beginner to have in their deck, especially at a low level where you aren't playing ranked battles yet. Death Rogue is going to be able to, if you have a rune loss, might be able to turn a tide with its 3 attack. It's only got 1 defense, but still has 3 attacks, so it could take out another creature. Fighter's Guild Recruit, we're playing 3 of. Very good card, has lethal, has prophecy, has guard. Very good card. Actually, probably what this deck alternates around is Fighter's Guild Recruit. So basically, if you draw it off a rune loss, you're going to be able to play for free. Really nice. Plus, it's a low magicka, only 2, so you're pretty much going to be able to play it no matter what point in time you are in the game, starting from the second turn, and it has that lethal ability, so it's going to be able to take out those creatures immediately. That you don't even have to get the creature all the way down. It's just going to be able to take out those creatures. Next up, we have Finish Off. So if you don't have that lethal ability on the field, your opponent's got a really strong creature on the field, but you have wounded it. Finish Off is going to be a great card. We're playing 3 of those. Definitely, it just takes off an enemy wounded creature and gets it out of the way. Now, we are playing 2 Hiss Speaker to increase our magicka by 1 when it's on the field. Sorry, we're not playing 2, we're actually playing 3 of those guys. It costs 2 magicka. So Hiss Speaker is one of those cards that works really well with needing more magicka. Now this isn't a high magicka cost deck. The majority of your cards are actually 3s, but you are going to need Hiss Speaker basically so you can rush the field with a bunch of cards that have lethal or a bunch of guard cards. So next up, we're playing our second guard card in the deck, Old Gate Warden. Old Gate Warden, I believe, is a very, very good beginner card. It has the guard ability, plus it has the regenerate ability, which the regenerate ability allows you to heal the card at the start of your turn. So if your opponent doesn't entirely take it out, it's going to be able to heal. And with a few item cards that we will go over later in the deck, this card can get extremely powerful and really be a nuisance for your opponent. So definitely play 3 of those. Now, next up, we're playing Black Sap Protector. Has the Prophecy ability and the Guard. It's a 3/3, so it's just a good card to either get off the rune loss or even play just as a 3 magicka cost card. It's going to allow you to get that guard up. It's got 3 attacks, so it can possibly take out a few cards. Just a decent card overall. Next up we have Giant Bat, which is it's a very beginner card. It's a very basic card. Has the drain ability, has the charge ability. I threw some cards in here with the drain ability because you play so much guard. You have a lot of guard cards in this deck, and drain abilities work really nicely with them. Basically, you can set this card behind your guard and just attack your opponent relentlessly, gaining health on that, basically overwhelming your opponent with how much help you have. And at the end of the video, I show you guys really quick gameplay that I had that I used the drain ability and the lethal abilities together, and you guys can see how powerful that is. So definitely stick around to the end of the video. Next up, we're playing Hackwing Feather. Gives you the regenerate ability, +1/+3, a good card to throw on Black Sap Protector. Also, I wouldn't really throw it on Old Gate Warden, but you could. I would throw it on Fighters Guild Recruit because that's going to put your Fighters Guild Recruit up to a total of 5, and it's going to give it the regenerate ability, giving Fighters Guild Recruit 4 abilities there. Now, we have Imperial Armor. This is the card that I would put on your Old Gate Warden. It gives it a +0/+6. So Old Gate Warden basically is going to have 11 defense. That's going to be hard to get around. Not many cards in this game without using 2 or more cards to attack the Old Gate Warden are going to be able to take him out, and he's going to get that regenerate ability off every single turn. Next up, we are playing some Scuba Rocketeers. These cards are basically really good to give your cards that don't have the lethal ability the lethal ability. So you're going to want to have as many lethal abilities as you can on the field. Scuba Rocketeer is going to help in doing that. You play 2 of these guys. So Saltwater Ally is the next card in the deck, and basically it is here to just add a little bit more defense and an attacker. So this is a pretty cheap attacker. When it's summoned, if the top card of your deck is a endurance card, it gains the guard ability and +2. So once again, it has the potential to become a guard, plus you can give it the lethal ability. Pretty decent card to have in this deck. Next up, we're playing 3 Thieveries. And a Thievery is basically going to deal 3 damage, heal 3 damage. Pretty good card for the beginning stages. If you go into look at more advanced decks, they might not play Thievery. Thievery is a very good card for beginners. I like this card a lot. Next up, we're playing 3 Tree Menders. Tree Mender is going to give you that 1 Magicka, so if you go first, Tree Mender can actually even out the game with the Magicka cost because the person who goes second gets that Magicka ring. So Tree Mender, I believe, is a very good card to put in a beginning deck. Next up, we're going with Worthgar Artisan. Give a creature +1/+1 on the summon. He's got 2/3. He gives a creature +1/+1. Gonna go ahead and play 2 of him. Archean Gorilla has a lethal ability, has 4 defense, 2 attack, a really good card for the beginning stages to have as a lethal ability. Plus, you can power it up with Hackwing Feather, throw that on, it's got 7 defense, 3 attack, now the lethal ability and the regenerate ability. Alright, so coming to the last 2 cards of the deck, we play Night Shadow. Night Shadow is an extremely powerful card if you use it right. It has the drain ability and has the breakthrough ability. And if you play Hackwing Feather on it, it puts it up to 8 defense, 7 attack, gives it the regenerate ability, breakthrough, and drain. This can become a very powerful card in the deck. Now it is an epic card, and it isn't obtainable through the storyline. You will have to obtain it through the through getting packs. I was able to pull this card. I play 1 of these guys in my deck. I wouldn't recommend playing more than 1. He has a pretty high cost Magicka card at 6, but he's very, very, very good to add in a deck at the beginning stages. And next up, we're playing 3 Swamp Leviathan. Swamp Leviathan doesn't have any ability, but add Hackwing Feather to him, add Daedric Dagger to him. This is now a very, very, very powerful and lethal card, and it's going to offset your opponent with that 8/8. It costs 7, but late game, Swamp Leviathan can definitely end some games very quickly for your opponent if he's not prepared for it. So that is the deck list, guys, there. Go ahead and leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Comment below on your opinions of this video, if you liked it, if you didn't. Even comment saying what you would have put in this deck at a beginning deck. Remember, this is a beginner deck. It's a very, very low-cost deck for crystals. Actually, most of these cards you get through playing the story, so if you just play the story, you'll get most of these cards, and it's actually pretty competitive. Now, here in a minute, you're actually going to be able to see me play this game in online against a real person. I go into just a casual match, and you'll get to see how powerful this deck can actually be. So definitely leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and remember guys, this has been Jay from BroGaming TCG. Don't forget to always keep on battling and pursue your dreams. Thanks for watching, guys.